This week on Kentucky Afield, we are in downtown Frankfort on the Kentucky River in search of Sauger.
Another Sauger.
Next, we take aim on a large group of archers as they compete in the Kentucky NASP State Championship.
Wow, you have got a ton of kids here this weekend.
It is unbelievable.
Lastly, we join herpetologist John MacGregor and some of his slithering friends at Mammoth Cave National Park. It's all next on Kentucky Afield.
Yeah, we got one. Sweet.
Got a muskrat?
Yeah.
Good job.
What do you know about that, man? That's a good fish, man.
Nice male smallmouth. Healthy, pretty color.
Cody, here. Find us one more good pheasant, Cody.
As biologists, we catch ducks and we place bands on them.
And it's just a really excellent place to see cottonmouths.
I like it.
What do you think? Like bull.
That was pretty fun.
Good evening and welcome to Kentucky Afield. I'm your host, Chad Miles. Join us as we journey the Commonwealth in search of outdoor adventure. When planning your next fishing trip, don't forget about Kentucky's vast number of rivers and streams. So we're here in downtown Frankfort, Kentucky, here with Chino with Gone Fishing Guide Service, and we're targeting muskie, or excuse me, we may catch a muskie, but we're targeting walleye and sauger. Chino, I know you fish all over the place, but this is something you really enjoy doing, isn't it?
Well, a lot of times in the winter, you know, people have cabin fever, you know, cold weather months. What else can you do? You're not going to go catch any bluegill on the beds or shell crackers, so get out here and catch some cold water fish.
There's not a fish that eats any better.
No, that's true. They are very good table fare.
And once you find them, the most important thing typically is what? Is it depth?
Yeah. And it doesn't take long to check out, you know, an area like this. You don't have to spend all day here just hoping the fish are eventually going to start biting.
Yeah.
If they're there, they're going to bite.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take you long to
Like that.
check it out.
First sauger. Looky there. What was our depth there?
14, 15.
We need to kind of remember that. This right here is why you use a stinger hook.
A lot of times you feel them when they hit this big jig. You actually, and I don't know how they do it, but they'll take that minnow right off of there. You feel them and your instinct is to lift up, and when you do, you snag them.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened right there. Here we go. Another sauger.
Good job, man. It got deep here.
I started filling my line, not hitting the bottom. I pulled out a couple feet of line. Well, probably only about 8 inches straight down. Sure enough, that's where he was sitting. Got it with the stinger hook. Got him?
Yep.
There we go.
Feels like another small one though.
Definitely a sauger. Your bait didn't much more hit the bottom, did it?
No, we went right by that first rock pile, and that's where he was. There's just something about these fish that's just, they're so much fun to catch.
They're fun to catch, and they're beautiful fish. And
they're just beautiful.
Nice job.
I think mine's bigger than his. That's what I'm gonna say. What do we got going on down here?
That girl thinks it's warmer than it is out here.
That's cold, sister. I wouldn't be putting my feet in that. Sleeveless and barefoot. Man, that's cold. Oh, there's one. Oh, I felt him when he hit.
I saw that thing bump you.
Boy, he hit me twice before he grabbed a hold of it.
There you go.
Look how dark he is.
Look how pretty that fish is. Right out from our rock pile.
He just went and hit it and hit it and hit it again, and there he was. And look at there, he bit the stinger hook.
I want it.
See there, just what we were talking about. He actually bit it.
And it's amazing how those fish are in that spot right there.
Oh, there's a bite.
There you go. Is that a fish?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a better one.
You need a net?
I don't know, let's see him here first. Might just have him foul hooked badly. Yep.
Still pretty good fish.
Yeah, it's still a good fish though.
There you go.
Same spot, brother. I see one bigger one in there. Surely that's mine.
Surely.
Surely. Oh, there was a hit.
You got that one. They're all about the same, aren't they? It might be a little bigger.
Now, did he bite it? Look at there.
Look at there. Hey, that could be a good sign.
He bit that jig.
That fish there's got the jig in his mouth. Which
he bit the big jig. He hammered. I felt it. I felt him just hammer that.
That could be a good sign. I love when I start seeing the bait in the mouth though. That means they saw the bait, they wanted it, they aggressively hit it.
There's one.
Got him.
Like he keep him on there. Well, that's a nice one.
That's a good sauger there. Marked up real beautiful. Nice fish.
Well, I'm glad I netted him.
He came off too, didn't he?
He came right off.
That's probably closer to a more typical size you catch down here, right?
Yes.
The 15, 16-inch fish.
So if this were a walleye or a sauger, it would be just about the keeper size.
Yeah, yeah. There we go.
Oh, that's a great one.
There we go. Look at that.
Did he bite the big jig?
And he's got the jig in his mouth.
That's what those big ones will do.
Yep. Very nice.
Great fish, man.
So these fish are really, really adapt to being in current.
You got these markings on the top of them that when fish look down on them, they're completely camouflaged. They can't even see the fish. And the way their nose and their head is just mashed down, current can flow right over the top of them. Their eyes are up on the top of the head, so they're obviously looking up. So they are a bottom feeding fish that's looking up and forward.
Well, this was a lot of fun. Easy access, easy spot to get. We're right here in downtown Frankfort. There's places just like this all over the state, especially around Louisville. People need to get out and give these sauger a go.
That's exactly right.
Archery is a passion of mine that I have enjoyed since I was a child, and I still enjoy it today. We're about to meet up with a bunch of kids who are starting down that path. We're here in downtown Louisville, and this is the Kentucky State Championship of the archery in the schools. If you got a child you're trying to get involved in extracurricular activity, archery just might be the key. Lisa, you're with the Department of Fish and Wildlife, and you're their state archery coordinator. Wow, you have got a ton of kids here this weekend.
It is unbelievable. We have 6,220 archers representing 302 schools.
That seems like it's up from last year. You got more kids?
We have increased by 50%. We could probably increase 100%, but we're limited to facility size.
You give a kid a bow and arrow and get them shooting, most kids love it. They just want more and more and more of it.
They love it. That's the purpose of the program. Introduce archery during the school day. Give every child a chance to get a bow in their hand to see what archery is about. Most of the time, they're hooked. They want to continue shooting.
I'm looking around. This event looks not only bigger with people, you've got more activities going on today than in past years. What kind of score are you trying to shoot today?
Hopefully upper 270s.
Okay, that'd be a good score.
270s.
Okay.
285, 290.
Okay. Any of you guys bow hunt?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all of you bow hunt?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. We'll step up there and we'll shoot. I'm sure you guys will put me to shame, but we'll see how it goes.
I don't know.
This is some of the fun things you get to do if you come to the state NASP tournament. All right, fellas, here we go. Got one! Good luck to North Laurel. I hope you guys finished well today. I know some of you guys are really good shots, all of you, and you did a good job out there.
Thank you.
And also notice that they're shooting 3D targets. There's actually an IBO section, right?
We have IBO 3D Challenge, very first time here at the state tournament. The kids that have shot bullseye also get a chance to shoot 3D if they'd like to. The Department of Fish and Wildlife is here. Students that have completed their hunter ed studies online are coming here to do their range work to get their hunter safety card.
So I'm here with Jackson Lee from Hopkinsville. How's archery different?
You got really nice coaches, and you don't get yelled at a lot there.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got good form. I know you got a good coach. You're going to be dropping those 290s, 295s in before you know it. I'm sure it's right around the corner. You do a little hunting too, don't you?
Yeah.
Thought about bow hunting yet?
Yeah, I really want to do that sometime soon.
So I'm here with Clara Jones. We just saw you come off the shooting line, shooting as an individual, right?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what that means.
I'm representing my school. It's my first time doing this, so I was the only Butler County high schooler on the line.
Well, you seem like you're doing pretty good. You look very comfortable up there.
I just love archery, like it's my life.
Well, I'll tell you what, you never have to stop. You can shoot archery forever. Now let's see who's catching what and where in this week's fishing report.
Hi, this is John Williams with Fish Report for Southeast Kentucky. This is a great time to fish. The water's warming in all of our area lakes. The fish are getting shallow, especially the bass are getting ready to spawn. If you're wanting to fish Cumberland, that's the way I would try it, with jerkbaits, cranks, and spinners. Elsewhere in the district, trout are being stocked in Daniel Boone National Forest, in Bark Camp Creek, Cane Creek, War Fork, and also in the Laurel tailwaters. Those can be caught usually on inline spinners or little power baits or natural baits such as corn or worms. And elsewhere in the district, we have a krill survey going on in the Cumberland tailwater. Clerks are seeing a few rainbow trout and brooks, and also a few sublegal browns being caught. That's always a good place to try. Usually the fish are biting down there and that can be caught on spinners or small crankbaits. As always, good luck and good fishing.
In western Kentucky, down at Kentucky and Barkley Lakes, it's crappie frenzy time. Now, the crappie have been biting very well this past winter and coming into spring. We've got some really big year classes of crappie that were produced a few years ago, so that's making a lot of harvestable size 10 to 12-inch crappie. And up to this point, they've been catching them out deep, suspended around the ledges, secondary creek channels. They've been starting to move up into the flats where people are drift fishing for them, jigs, minnows, using drift socks. But now that the water temperatures has made it up to 62, the water elevation is pushing 358, that's putting water in the bushes, it's time for the crappie to start spawning. And in the tailwaters, the elevation is just right for good striped bass fishing and good blue cat fishing. Well, this is Paul Reister, and I hope you find a good day to go fishing.
This is Rob Roll in the Northwestern Fishery District. Bass fishing's been good at both Rough River Lake and Nolan River Lake, especially up in the creek and in the standing timber. Fish are pretty shallow, a couple of feet deep. Spinner baits have been working pretty well. Crappie fishing's been good at both reservoirs as well. Crappie also are shallow, and people are catching them over brush or some of the gravelly, rocky banks. At Malone, bass are very shallow there too, foot or two of water. Jigs seem to be producing really well, as do spinner baits. And that pretty much goes the same for all of our smaller impoundments, the Peabody WMA lakes, as well as Mosey, Carpenter. Now's the perfect time to be out fishing, beautiful weather, so get out and enjoy it. Always remember, please wear your life jackets when you're on or near the water.
Turkey season opens up this weekend. We all know that's the time of year that snakes become more visible. We recently took a trip with herpetologist John MacGregor to learn more about Kentucky snakes. So here with John MacGregor, state herpetologist, and we're at Mammoth Cave National Park.
Mammoth Cave National Park, yeah.
And you've been doing a study for many years, right?
I started this in 2002, and it began as an inventory of amphibians and reptiles at Mammoth Cave National Park. And so I set up these monitoring stations, and after the inventory was finished, it's about when I started as the herpetologist at Fish and Wildlife, so the Park Service let me keep my cover boards here. And
how many different snake species have you inventoried here on this particular property?
I think I'm around 18 different kinds.
And two that are venomous, correct?
Yeah, 2 that are venomous.
Okay.
Timber rattlesnakes and copperheads.
And you have seen both of those in the last...
And everything else here is harmless. And there are several kinds of snakes that were here in the 30s when the property was first being purchased for the park. And they have disappeared since then.
Okay.
Probably because this is all forest now. And you know, in 1935, it was about 2/3 farmland and 1/3 woods, which is just perfect. You know.
Gotcha. Well, I'm excited. Let's go turn over some tin and see what we find.
Any one piece has very low chance of having anything under it. You know, this is a full-grown adult worm snake, and this one is a female.
Okay.
And has not laid eggs yet.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you can pick this up on the camera, but you can see the eggs through her belly.
Oh wow! Am I seeing 1, 2, 3?
You're seeing 3.
Okay, I think I can see that.
Yeah. So they lay eggs about this time of year.
And this pretty typical is about 3 per snake?
Yeah, usually 2 to 5.
Okay.
So this is probably a pretty young female. Now with a worm snake, this is a neat thing they do. When you pick them up, they have a spine on the end of the tail. And they normally, when they're hunting earthworms underground, and they grab an earthworm and then they'll jab that tail into the burrow, and they can, you know, it helps them steady themselves.
How common are these?
They're pretty common in most of the state, except like most snakes, they're not very common in the bluegrass.
Okay.
But you know, if I wanted to find one of these around Frankfort or Lexington, I would be somewhere in the hills along the Kentucky River.
Okay.
They don't get up into northern Kentucky, but they're in most of the rest of the state. Yeah.
So. Well, 110, 1 snake?
Yeah, that's about as good as you can do. We might as well quit. These are 2 eastern garter snakes.
Okay. Is catching them in doubles very common?
No, and these are both females.
Okay.
In fact, they're both pregnant females. You can see how heavy-bodied they are.
Yeah. Back
through here, and they will have usually at least 25 or 30 babies, and sometimes a lot more. These are both full-grown. These are actually pretty large for garter snakes. Yeah. Usually, when you find a garter snake this big, it's almost always a female.
Oh, gotcha.
Now, with some kinds of snakes, like copperheads, the males tend to be bigger. But with garter snakes, most males are maybe 2/3 this size. And,
so that musk that they throw out is something that is a mechanism for self-protection, right?
Yeah, apparently it tastes really bad. I've never tasted it. But to a predator like maybe a skunk or a weasel or a raccoon, that would give them a really bad taste, and they would probably turn the snake loose. These are common all through the state. This is probably the commonest backyard snake that we have, because they feed on earthworms and fish and frogs, slugs, just about everything. And another thing about garter snakes is it's really the only snake we have that has a red and black tongue.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can see that it's kind of neat. It's a pretty distinctive feature of garter snakes. When I was a kid, this was the main kind of snake I looked for, and they crawl away from you, and that stripe your eyes kind of fix on the stripe, and the stripe seems to be staying in one place even when the snake is moving.
Yeah.
And so the snake just gets smaller and smaller, and then it's gone, you know, and you're still staring where it used to be. This is an adult ringneck snake. They underneath, bright yellow to bright orange.
It's a beautiful color.
Yeah, sometimes with black spots. Yellowish lips, and then a yellow or orange ring around the neck. They're really pretty little snakes.
And that's full grown?
That's full grown. And this is a common woodland snake. The earthworms, salamanders.
You know, there's so little
insects.
that unless you have a fairly trained eye, it'd be very easy to miss that snake.
Yeah, and sometimes you find big numbers of these under one rock. They hardly ever bite, and but they do have a really potent.
Get ready, if you pick one up, you're going to smell. Huh?
And they smear it all over your fingers, and you can always tell when you've caught a ringneck snake. Soap and water usually gets rid of the smell, but not always. Oh, here we go, copperhead.
Oh, we got a copperhead.
I mean, he's not doing much of anything.
He is pretty docile.
Yeah, and this is the way it usually is when you find one under something. That would be maybe 2 feet.
It's only about 2 feet.
Yeah, they're kind of stocky, so they look bigger than they are.
So, and what would be the strike zone on that snake?
Probably about 8 inches.
8 inches, okay.
Yeah, no, he's a little bit disturbed.
Yeah,
now.
he's a little upset. And
one thing you might notice about his tail, the young copperheads have a bright yellow tail, and then that gets dull colored in the grown ones. So the adults always have a plain colored.
So is that pretty much a full grown snake?
Yeah, that's an adult copperhead.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the venom that they have, how it works on their food source. And
it pretty much destroys tissue. They eat probably a bigger variety of things than any other Kentucky snake. Everything from grasshoppers, crickets, cicada nymphs, to mice, shrews, sometimes other snakes, lizards.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Probably one of the most important woodland predators we have, and they often live in forested areas.
So on the side of that copperhead, I mean, a lot of people, there's several snakes that have that similar color pattern.
Yeah.
But not the pattern, but the same color. But the pattern on the side is, a lot of people say it looks like
an hourglass.
An hourglass.
If you're looking straight down, it's narrow. The dark bands are narrow across the back, and then they widen out on each side.
When this snake gets a little more agitated, obviously it got kind of jittery and was bouncing around. Will they hiss at you as well?
They don't hiss.
They do not hiss. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they will sometimes. They'll vibrate the tail, and if it's in dry leaves, it sounds.
So if you're waiting for one to hiss to get mad, you're going to wait too long. You're going to get bit.
Yeah, hognose snakes will hiss, or pine snakes will hiss, and king snakes. See that pair of dark spots in the center of each light crossband?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty characteristic of copperheads. And then if you get close to the face, you can see there's a deep pit in front of the eye and between the eye and the nostril, and that's the heat sensitive pit, and they use that. That's how they hunt.
That particular snake, when it goes to have young, how many are we talking?
Not many. Probably average copperhead brood would be somewhere around 6 to 10.
I kind of like it under the 10 and not in the grass.
Yeah, not out in the grass.
Now let's check out this week's ones that didn't get away. Here's Madeline Lawson with her deer taken in Gallatin County, Kentucky. Nice deer. Here's a really nice deer taken by Lucy Abel. She took this with her dad's rifle. She's telling everyone, get out there, it's a lot of fun. Congratulations. Check out the smile on Sky French of Milford, Kentucky. Nice deer, congratulations. Here's Tyler Wofford with a nice buck taken in Anderson County. Congratulations. Check out Blaine Durall here with a really nice largemouth bass caught in a farm pond in Muhlenberg County. Nice fish. Here's DJ McCall with his first deer ever taken in Lewis County. Nice job. Here we have Jamie Alvey with his very first deer taken in Grayson County, Kentucky. It was a button buck. Congratulations. Here's Brennan Williams with his 10-point buck that was taken in Campbell County, Kentucky. Congratulations. Here's Kyle Baker of Owen County, Kentucky with his first buck ever, a 9-pointer. Nice job. Here we have Jennifer Givens with her first deer ever taken in Butler County, Kentucky on the family farm. Nice job. Here we have Elizabeth Ham with her first buck ever, a 10-pointer from Woodford County. Nice deer. This is a great time of year to be a Kentucky outdoorsman. The fish are really starting to bite and spring turkey season is in. And remember, hunting and fishing on private property is a privilege. Always ask permission and thank the landowner. Until next week, I'm your host Chad Miles and I hope to see you in the woods or on the water.